You know, you hear a lot of critique of Fauci. I think there's probably some legitimate critiques around Anthony Fauci. I think public health policy very difficult to navigate, particularly in a country where there is an ongoing, and I imagine there's some of this in every country, but there is an ongoing, I want to call it cottage industry, but it's almost like a full-on corporate industry of COVID denial that has morphed into vaccine denial, into all sorts of different types of denials. But this is an interesting take from Lara Logan, who is, I think people are quickly realizing, has completely lost all of her marbles on Fox News.
And so in that moment, what you see on Dr. Fauci, this is what people say to me, that he doesn't represent science to them. He represents Josef Mengele, Dr. Josef Mengele, the Nazi doctor who did experiments on Jews during the Second World War and in the concentration camps. And I am talking about people all across the world are saying this because the response from COVID, what it has done to countries everywhere, what it has done to civil liberties, the suicide rates, the poverty, it has obliterated economies. The level of suffering that has been created because of this disease is now being seen in the cold light of day, i.e. the truth. And people see that there's no justification for what is being done.
So is she blaming Fauci for the lockdowns in other countries? Is that it?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. They take the lead from us because we're in charge and he's really running the country. Don't you know that?
I mean, wasn't the first lockdown in China where they literally locked down entire multi-million people cities?
I don't think you're getting it. I think, you're not really awoken to the global ring of pedophiles being run by Fauci and other deep state elites. I mean, that's what she... that's the implicit, like everything is connected with conservatives now. It's all
it was Biden's long-term plan, and Anthony Fauci was controlling the puppet strings, and they did it from the Lolita Express 20 years ago. They were planning this out.
Could you put the image back up there in the middle of when she's talking? Because I'm really curious about this. Lara Logan is claiming that there are people around the world that she talks to, which I tend not to doubt any of it. Keep going, because I want the split screen. I want to see, this, okay? Stop for a second. Lara Logan at this point is saying that there are people that she talks to on a regular basis who are saying that Anthony Fauci is like Josef Mengele, who would experiment on Jews in concentration camps. And I wonder what is going through the minds of Pete Hegseth and Will Cain in particular. I mean, Hegseth, I think, is a lunatic. But Will Cain, at one point was a normal human being. This guy who lives on the Upper West Side, sends his kid to private school, goes around with I think, in some type of social elite in New York City. I wonder, if he's thinking in his head, I cannot believe I'm having to do this for money. Sit here and listen to Lara Logan say that Anthony Fauci is like Josef Mengele. I wonder, what is going through that guy's brain? God, I hope I don't have to drop my kid off at private school tomorrow and run into anybody who even remotely, not a lunatic. Because I have no doubt that Lara Logan is talking to people on a regular basis who are saying that Anthony Fauci is like Josef Mengele.
Probably even worse than that.
Yeah, and also think that they're lunatics.
But, okay, so he has gone that far. Just 5 months ago or 6 months ago we talked about this. He was just as loopy as she is. They're all, what I don't understand about this though, is the audience that they're talking to. The majority in reality have taken the vaccine. So how is it that they're going so far right? And it is, of course, influencing that perfect number of people who don't want to take the vaccine still and who are in denial. Why is it that they are completely shifting their entire coverage to accommodate this insane Trump base because they are afraid of losing it to Newsmax and OAN or whatever it is, when the majority of their audience, family members of mine included, who watch Fox News are vaccinated, believe in who are anti-Trump, by the way, and believe in the pandemic. I don't get it.
I think there is a quality of we have got to let them talk about this is, if you step back and don't look at the content, but you think about the modality of thought that's going on here, we have to give credence to completely baseless, non-scientific hyperbole, because I get to exercise that in other areas if we get to allow the anti-vaxxers to do this. I think that is what goes on in the mind of a Fox viewer who has been vaccinated. Yeah. It's because they probably have opinions that when they try to articulate them around other people get shot down and they don't want to feel. So they're going to allow a certain amount of license for those type of opinions. And by doing so, it gives them license to express other things, maybe about what women's role should be in society, or what other people in society are doing and aren't deserving of. I mean, that's my theory as to why it's okay. Nobody who's vaccinated goes I can't watch this anymore because Lara Logan is completely out of her mind. It's more okay, it's
I made the personal choice to get the vaccine, but this is government overreach now, and this is much like all these other things you're seeing with Biden.
Fauci could be a Mengele or he could be not. We just, who's to say?
And that the Biden administration is super cozy with China, and who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes is Fauci, and then that's why he's probably working with the people in Wuhan who created the pandemic, and then it's all created.